Hell yeah. I'm not in Quebec right now where I'm supposed to be. I'm on vacation in Ottawa, but I wanted so much to do that interview because I love that project. And, you're going to be a band that a lot of people's going to talk about, and it's already happening right now. But who the hell are you, my friend?
I am Matt Delberth from Rochester, New York, and I sing in the band Revival. And that's it. That's me.
Thank you so much, Matt. When I heard about that project, when it comes to altcore, a lot of bands follow a line, directions,
Mm-hmm.
where you can easily do the circle. A band sound like the other bands and everything. But when I heard you guys and girls for the first time, it was different for me. It's really original. You took like, yeah, the spirit of the beginning of altcore, but you mix it up with so many style. So the first question, is it something that came natural? Would you try to find a really direction, or it was something that came natural?
Which was super cool. It was the most organic band I've ever been in, and I attribute that. My wife is my guitar player, so we've been together for a long time, and I had done a ton of other bands. Some stuff a little more technical, and the band I had done before Revival was very like Dillinger Escape Plan, and like really a lot of Burnt by the Sun, like a lot of really technical elements, and it just kind of I felt bored. I just kind of got bored of being everything was so crazy and spastic and time changes, and so I stopped doing that band. And my wife was like, "Why don't you sing over all these riffs I have?" And I was like, "Yeah." It was so organic. Like she just played me a bunch of songs, and I got to work. We literally spent a summer a bunch of years ago putting our full length record together, and it was hot. We were just in this apartment that was so hot at the time, and there's no AC. So we literally wrote our record sitting around in our underwear on a hot summer. And then we got other, drummer and a bass player, and we're like, these are the songs. And it's like there was no pretentiousness, no bullshit. It's like, these are the songs. And we hope you like them. We didn't. We're gonna sound like this. We're gonna do this. We're just like, let's do a hardcore band. Go. I mean, the best stuff is always no brainer. Like you just go on autopilot and you just make stuff. So that was our first record we put out in 2015, and we were lucky enough. We asked our friend Lou Kohler, "You want to do a song with us?" And he's like, "Cool." So sent him the song, and then he was all about it. And then we went down to a studio on Staten Island, and Lou laid down his vocals, and we put out a video for it, but Lou wasn't in the video due to scheduling conflicts. And the video, like that, I've never done a video in my life. The video for the music video is not that great, but it cost us like $400. And had I known, like, it's got like 400,000 views, and had I known that many people would have been stoked on it, we would have put a little more effort into it. So that's why we just did a video. Yeah, it was like, people are like, if you watch the video, it was also super hot in the middle of the summer. There was a ton of takes, and the kid we had playing drums for us at the time, I think he was just like exhausted because he's hitting his drums like very delicately, and it really shows. Like people are like, give that band an energy drink. And I was like, man, like hindsight's 2020. I'm like, I wish we had whatever. I've never done a video before. I'm like, this is silly. Let's just put it out, whatever. But I'm like, damn, I guess a lot of people like what we're doing.
Yeah. Yeah. And it show that, a lot of people don't really care about those things. It's always a small group of people who pick around something like that because it's the first video. It's $400. But I like it because you were having fun, and I think that's the whole point of the band. And that's the thing with the altcore scene. Some band take, when it started up, even Madball or Agnes, they weren't take themselves seriously, but after a while, the movement became so serious and everything. But
Mhm.
when you know the people behind it, you realize they're all original human and everything. So, I think it broke that stereotype of being too serious in altcore and just fucking having fun and live the moment and everything. That's what you guys did with the video. You live the moment. It's a
Yeah.
memory that's gonna be stuck in your head forever, and that's a cool thing. It's positive, and then
Well,
it
we
doesn't really
literally,
matter how people a few people can respond to it. The main people love it, and the song is so have such an impact in everything. I think it was a perfect mix with the video and everything. It was cool, good.
the video, the motorcycle people in it, like we literally, that was behind where we used to practice, and it's like a abandoned warehouse type place, and there just happened to be those like motorcycle stunt dudes, and we're like, just you want to be in this video, just ride around, and they're like, okay. So it was very organic. It wasn't like planned out. It's just like those dudes happened to be back there tearing it up with their motorcycles, and we just had like the kid with his camera, and we set up our gear, and we're like, okay, I guess we got a video. There's like it was so just random, but we just did a video, but we put way more thought. Well, I'm gonna give my wife all the credit. She's like, I got a concept, I got to, and I can't wait for that video to come out because that video is awesome.
Yeah, and that's the thing. You work your ass on the new records, but the thing was, I think that for Revival, everything was, getting bigger and everything. Things were going very fast, and then pandemic arrived, and everything stopped for a
Yeah.
while. So I think everything was on pause. But when you're gonna release the records, it's gonna be that huge wave of people that were ready for you and discover you during the pandemic with that first effort.
Yeah. Thank you. We really want to be able to, I mean, everything was, yeah, like you said, for the whole year, nothing happened. We didn't do anything. We haven't even played a show since January, not the January we had, but was it January of 2019, 2020, whatever. We haven't played a show at all. And we're excited to get back to it. But at the same time, not until recently, we just didn't feel it was the right time to try to have a show, or there wasn't really the avenue there. We didn't want to like, let's have a hardcore show, but everybody has to sit at tables. Or I like, that's dumb. That doesn't. We want to be able to play a proper show where you can yell in my face and jump off the stage and be an idiot. Like that's what like hardcore and punk rock is to me. Not, because that's how they were having it. Everybody has to no more than 3 people at a table, and then it would be like dinner theater. Like you guys ready to eat your bagels and have your coffee? Make some noise. With a mask
Yeah.
happening. It didn't seem. I just was like, let's do it right or not do it at all. And now it seems like, fingers crossed that everything's going to be able to go on this trajectory, and we can do shows and see people that we haven't seen in forever.
Yeah, and the other thing is that I think every festival and people are waiting for the next wave of band. And I think during the pandemic, like I said, people discover their own local scene, and if they were into punk rock or altcore or whatever, they discover a lot of new shitload of band, and now everything is in place that those band took over that flag, because it was the same name over and over again. And in the hardcore scene, it's a good example. There was always the same old band that was booked like for headliner and everything. I think that people are ready, and they were waiting for something like Revival.
I'm hoping you're right. I'm hoping 10,000 other people feel just like that. It to me, like you'd said earlier, it really is the spirit of, I guess the only deliberate thing, we didn't deliberately try to make any specific sound, but Gina and I love all the old 90s hardcore bands, when Victory Records put out great bands, And when you get those victory comps, and it'd be like 10-Yard Fight and Strife and Hatebreed and like all those really good 90s hardcore bands, but sick of it all, Agnostic Front, all the New York bands too, you know. And we're like, let's just make simple bangers, you know what I mean? 2.5-minute songs that make you remember why you liked this kind of music in the first place. And then, you know, we just did that, not worried about, oh, you know, we have to have this super heavy breakdown or have, you know, like a keyboard sample or, you know. And I think a lot of everything grows and changes and evolves, of course, right? But a lot of like, when people are like, check out this hardcore band, and I'm like, well, to me, that's a death metal band, and there's nothing wrong with that. I love death metal. I love a lot of death metal bands, but it's just weird when they're like, certain bands are classified as a hardcore band, and I would say I mean, they have blast beats, their vocals are super low, you know what I mean? I'm like, that's basically death metal. But what do I know? I'm 44. Our vision of what a hardcore band is older, so we tried to take it back to that. You know, not worried about what everybody else is doing. We just want to make songs that we, and especially like 15-year-old me that's discovering like Black Flag and stuff like that would be like, this is fucking great. I want to get on my skateboard and skip school. You know what I mean? Like that's the vibe. That's the whole vibe. Suburban rebellion, I guess.
You're right, and that's what a lot of kids are looking right now. And with what happened with the pandemic here in Canada and Quebec, people really forgot about the kids. You know, they were sitting at home, things being on their you know, computers and phones, and you know, it's just like, and now stuff, and they're ready to do something, you know. And it's crazy to think that the soundtrack for it's there, it's ready, you know. And I think with the revival of show right now, and it's going crazy. I went to 2 festivals, one with cages and one without cages, and it was crazy. The vibe, and people were taken for something, you know, for granted, and just realized how it was important to them. Being there, it was a moment. Everything else was not important.
Right. Like there's nothing like live music in the world. And like when that band comes out, hits that first chord, the drums, the singer, all right, no one stand still. Like, I don't care. I'll be 85 years old. And even just talking, I got the goosebumps just saying that. Just that feeling when you're like, oh, and that's what this music keeps you connected to that part of yourself that's fun. And that you love being able to just be youthful and like, yeah, just like you said, your troubles melt away the second like they're playing my song. We always joke around that around the house we'll play music. We play music constantly through our Bluetooth and stuff. And like there's still some songs 25, 30 years old that, especially during the pandemic and we were just stuck inside, I was like, man, if this band played this song at a show, don't even stand near me because you're getting something, because like it excites me so much. I've always Do you wonder, like, our generation, if we make it to being like 75, 80, like will they still have shows like this, and will it just be a bunch of old dudes with their walkers just like swinging like this? I would hope it sounds cheesy, but I would hope so. Like, I mean, stigma is like hope that you can still stay in this scene and culture and be relevant and love it at an old age. So I'm like, man, I don't ever see myself not liking heavy music. I don't know. I start my day with it. I get excited about when somebody will message me, have you heard these guys? No, I haven't. Check them out. And I'll pull it up and put my headphones on at the gym, and I'm like, these guys are incredible, And I don't think that part of me, I hope not, but it'll never die. Like, ever since I was young and I just got into music, shit rules. Like, it's still the best. You know that feeling when you discover a new band and you just want to tell all your friends? And they're like, you don't know about Turnstile or whatever, and they're like, no, and you're like, put this on, and then like you just get hyped and you just like bob your head and you like start dancing around. Like that's, I don't really know any other kind of music that makes you feel like that. For me, I mean, other people get stoked on like whatever, but for me, that's just that connection to the youthful part of you, and that's why I love this kind of music so much. I just talked you an essay, and I apologize.
Oh, no, man, you're right. And that's the thing, that's what I love about, when it comes to punk rock, hardcore, ska, whatever, it's a fusion of a lot of style, The Clash understood that back in the days. And
Yep.
I'm hyped to see that band now have that spirit of bringing new style in something that has already been created. You're not reinventing the wheel with revival, but you do it your own way, and it's totally different than what Madball, Agnostic Front, or Carry a Biscuit did in the days. It's that's the point of trying to just push yourself in something that you love, and it's all about the passion, as you mentioned. But it's really beautiful to see that people still respond to that. Like you said, whatever your age or where you're from, it's all a family thing. And that's what hooked me up about that, when I was 14, I'm still, and I male scene and everything. It's cool to see the crossover that did happen with DRI back in the day. Sorry, I'm French. My pronunciation sometimes sucks.
No, you're good. I got you.
Sorry for fucking on it until I screwed up with DRI.
Yeah. Dirty Rotten Imbeciles. It's like I'm saying, like I wish I had like I would put a side by side video and it'd probably be like a hilarious meme, but like 20-year-old me listening to Set It Off, and if I had like a video of me hearing Set It Off in the late 90s and going crazy, and then like the side by side like 44-year-old me listening to Set It Off, like I'm still like it, same reaction, doesn't matter. And that's the magic. Is there a fountain of youth? No, but this is the most pure thing to me that makes me feel like that. And it's somebody asked me, how long are you gonna do like these bands and stuff like that for? And I said, until it becomes not physically possible or it looks as disingenuous as like the Rolling Stones. Like, those guys don't want to do it anymore. They don't want to get up and sing Satisfaction. They don't want that. Maybe they do, but they probably don't. They're, that just looks disingenuous too. Like, like Grandpa just played 2 E chords. Good for him. I don't know. Whatever. It just it doesn't. It's like the Ramones. Love the Ramones. I love the Ramones, and they didn't want to do it. They all had passed away, obviously, but they didn't want to do it anymore because same way. They're like, this just looks silly. We're so old, and we're like a punk rock band. And they did it on their own terms, but I still feel like I got a lot to say. I feel like on this new record, there's one song I'm the most proud lyrically of any song I've ever wrote ever. So that made me feel good. I do it for me. It's therapeutic. And I love that when people can connect to something I wrote in the same way I connect to lyrics other people wrote. And so that's just cool. Like, that's not from an ego point of view, but you're like, you feel good. Like, you feel good that you can contribute to the universe in a way that, like, somebody's like, hey man, that song fucking right here, and you're like, that's what's up, and then you fist bump at a show, and you get a drink together or whatever. But that's okay. Let's suppose my favorite band was U2. I would never be able to like fist bump Bono and be like, those lyrics right here. You know what I mean? Not at all. But also
You
what's
don't
cool in
think
this
like
culture.
Bono
Your phone broke up a sec there. What? Your phone broke up.
sorry. You don't feel like when you're YouTube fans, Bono get you on the stage and sing with him. It doesn't happen.
No. Six huge dudes would tackle you and break your arm for even running across the stage. You get tackled. And I'd be like, I want to hear With or Without You. You'd be like, fucking get him. Or whatever. I don't know. But what's cool about this kind of music, everybody's just humble, like, and normal people, and not, you know, like, uh, you can have a real conversation with, like, hey, as cornball as it sounds, I don't think it's like there are records that have literally like saved my life in a time, like the universe made me hear that record at that time, and like things aren't so bad, or like gave you like pumped you up where you're like, fuck, you know what I mean? Like, because we're talking about Madball, you're like, damn, like if Freddie can live through this situation, I can too. You know what I mean? As a youngster, when you're just trying to figure out
Yeah.
life. So like that's what's, and when somebody tells you something you wrote, like you're like you feel good that you're now you're paying it forward. Like if you get a cup of coffee, you buy it for the person behind you, and the same thing, but with lyrics. If that made any sense.
Yeah, totally. I mean, and I love the point when you said you do it for yourself. It's true. It's not ego thing. When a band released a record, it's such there's so much work involved, and you put the part of your life in it, and it's 4, 5, 6 or whatever the band is individual. Figure out that thing you got in your hand and the direction that you want to take. It's really tough to do. If it was easy, everybody would do this. And still losing the money and everything, it still gets you on that stage and making a record. It's incredible, man. And like you said, you live to the reaction of people that enjoy that, and it's beautiful because there's no money. And you guys should have a fucking salary of therapists because you are therapists. When I see a
Right.
show,
Yeah.
I feel fucking good after that. Better than fucking seeing a therapist.
Maybe like set up the stage and then a whole bunch of couches, everybody like laying down, like you know what I mean. But
Oh, help me out with my mind.
yeah,
Come to the
yeah. Well,
show.
first of all, if you're looking to me for any kind of help, you got bigger problems. I don't know. As my wife will tell you, I'm definitely fucking. Uh, but it's funny that you brought that up because like I was just talking with a friend the other day, and we were laughing that nobody that's into this kind of music is right. Like something's wrong with you if you hear like and you're like, that's great, man. I want to hear a lot more of that. Like most people are like, this fucking shit sucks. Turn it off. But like it's always like the people that like something's wrong with every one of us that love this music, but it's great. And I think that's a lot of the reason it feels like a community, because as you start talking, a lot of people probably had a lot of similarly fucked up experiences and were like, cool, I'm not alone. And I mean, and then you can like talk about stuff with people who aren't like looking at you and like you're oversharing. They're like, oh yeah, that's wow, yeah, totally. I gotta get going. You know what I mean? It's not like that. It's like you feel that like you're not oversharing with people where you're like, shouldn't have fucking said that. So it really like this built-in family type vibe where let's suppose I never met you and I saw you on a train and you had a DRI shirt, and I'd be like, fucking DRI, dealing with it, you know what I mean? Or fucking suit and tie guy, or like any of their songs, you'd be like, yeah. And then we're instant friends and we can start talking over anything where, I don't really know anything else that's like that, unless like maybe people who like anime or something like that would be like, oh, it's Goku or I don't know. I'm not an anime guy. I don't know, but it's just such the feeling of community, and like I said, you and me have never met, and we're this constant all day because we have a similar love of loud, stupid music. But that's awesome. That's what I love about it.
You, I'm I'm that type of guy. When I see somebody with a shirt that I enjoyed band, I call it like you have a fucking great shirt, and it opened the conversation, and then you realize we're all in the same family. You're right, and it's a
Yep,
beautiful thing. And I don't know if you felt that, but with the pandemic, I think a lot more people got open to that style. A lot of people got into hardcore. Did you realize a lot more people discover you guys, during that year and a half?
absolutely. And that was a good feeling because everybody was in America, especially everybody's jobs got closed. And then not only
Yeah,
that, but then they didn't really stop people's bills, but then they also didn't want to do anything to help them out. So everybody was pissed. Everybody's pissed off. You're like, you basically forced a lot of us to be poor, to stop our jobs, to really give us no alternative. And so a lot of people were
yeah,
pissed. So a lot of people, I think, were like more in the right mindset to want to hear angry shit. So we had a lot of streams and things like that over the pandemic, and just people reaching out like, "I love your record," and that meant a lot to me. That like people were buying it, and I'm like, money's tough right now, but that you, even with tight budgets and that everybody has, that you still wanted to buy our music. That's like, man, that's we were touched. That's amazing. Thank you. Thank you to everybody reading or watching this or whatever that bought our music in the pandemic. Like that is like humbled and honored, and I wish I could shake their hands. Not at the time
you,
because of COVID, but air high
you
five.
you will. It's gonna definitely happen. Over the course of next years and the rest of the years. The new album is coming out. So, how's the best way to directly encourage you guys and girls and help revival?
Yeah. Well, thank you. We're gonna be coming up to Montreal, so I know I'm probably not supposed to say that. I can't say anything more, but we will see all you guys. Uh, and I'm really excited to get back. Canada is great to us. We love playing in Toronto. We've never been to Montreal, but everybody tells us that this Montreal scene is insane and the kids are nuts. So that's why I love it. I can't wait to come see all you guys.
We will be there. Of course, we will be there. Hit me with the dates. People, of course, check the band. It's going to be released on Cursed Blessing Records, which is all Nolan, Greg, and a lot of people involved behind the records. They're doing
Mhm.
amazing jobs. Congratulations.
Thank you.
I didn't hear the whole thing. I can't wait, but from what I heard, it's crazy. It's gonna be a hell of a roller coaster for you guys and girls, but you're gonna deserve it. And we're gonna wait for you in Montreal and of course Quebec City after all of that. But thank you so much. Seriously, Matt.
Thank you.
When I heard the first records, it really get me in. That's what I'm looking with music. It's original. It's your own identity. There's no compromise and it's working, man. It's fucking good.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. You can always. You're like me. This you could, you can pick it up when it's genuine and it's real, or when it's like we're trying to do this sound for this, or a record label made us do this and dress like this. You could smell it. You know what I mean? You could smell
Yeah,
authenticity, and then you can also smell the bullshit. So we just, for people that really enjoy this music and having fun. We take the music seriously, but we don't take ourselves seriously at all. We just love to joke around and laugh, and I mean, we just have a lot of fun. So that's it. I can't wait to come see you guys. The record will be out. You can pre-order it on vinyl now. It'll be out this fall, just because of worldwide shortage of vinyl.
yeah.
Keep an eye out. We're within the next month or two. We're putting the video or the first song "Scumbag" out that has our friend Tim from Vision of Disorder on guest vocals, and he's in the video too, which is great for me because Gina and I grew up loving VOD so much. One of the best, and I say the number one criminally underrated hardcore band of all time. Should have been huge. Fucking great band.
That's description, man. It's so true. It's people have to discover that band way more than they are well known right now, but they're going great, and yeah, it's beautiful. Yeah, that type bound in the altcore scene. I love it.
I had a fucking DOD tattoo. Like they're just such a like to me they're one of the best bands ever, and it was just so cool to be like, you know, could I get Bono to do a song with me? No. Like, could I reach out to my buddy Tim and be like, do you want to do a song with us? And he's like, stoked on it. So that was just a cool moment, like a bucket list item, like to get one of your favorite singers ever to do a guest track with you was fucking cool.
Can't wait, people. That record's gonna change your life. It's a great record. It's well done, and like we said, it's done with the heart. Congratulations. Say hi
Thank you.
to everyone in the band and your beautiful wife. I know she went to a lot of thing. You went to a lot of thing. Everybody in the band, but you're still there. And yeah, everything is in place for you to explode the world. That's what's gonna happen. And if I'm wrong, in a year we do another interview and you blast me out like you were like saying
It's all your fault.
blame me. Blame the big bad. Blame me.
It's you. It's all your fault. Nah. Well, thank you so much for taking the time today to talk to me, and I'll see y'all soon.
Hell yeah. We're going to be there in Montreal. We're going to do a huge special in 2 weeks on Revival. I'm going to send all the details. We're not a podcast. We're live in the studio. We're really lucky. TKRL 89.1 is the first francophone radio station outside government, outside Radio Canada. So we're really lucky. So we're going to do that huge special. And Matt, thank you. Thank you for the friendship. Actually, man, it was a blast talking to you. And yeah, you're stuck in a false contract that you never sign. There's no proof of it, but you come back as many times as you
want. Nice. Thanks, man. Will do. I'll
Hell yeah.
You're stuck with me. Careful what you wish for.
I don't know if
I'm a hard friend to have at times, I've been told. So careful what you wish for.
Yeah. You got your much, Matt. Thank you for the time and everything. I appreciate it.
You bet, my friend. Take care.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
See ya.
Cheers.